Hey Mixers, welcome back to another WNBA video. We just have a 2-game slate today, but I did find 3 best bets for you. So if you want to get in the mix for that cash prize, just comment hashtag in the mix, choose 2 of those 3 best bets, and if they hit, then you'll be entered into that drawing. Let's jump into the recap, which I don't want to do the recap because it was kind of ugly, but let's jump into it anyway. Okay, so it was a 50-50 day if you add up the best bets and the leans. But as you guys know, like in previous 50-50 days, I've been able to come out ahead because of just the way that my bets were structured. Today, that did not happen. I was down 3.25 units on the day because my winning picks were just paired up poorly. So I just didn't end up cashing very many slips. So let's go over it. Paige Bucker's over 16.5 points. She had 21. That was obviously a great read. It was a blowout. So that is why Caitlin, our next one, did not get there. She shot 4 for 12. So we just needed one more 3-pointer from her. And it's not like she wasn't shooting them. She was shooting them. She just wasn't making them. So she left the game early. Obviously, Paige eventually also got pulled. But yeah, we didn't have a shot after they pulled Caitlin, obviously. Brianna Stewart over 19.5 points. We only needed one more bucket from her. She had 18, and she shot 7 for 19, so not great either. So they both sold us. Caitlin and Brianna Stewart both sold us. They should have gotten there. These other two misses, Gabby Williams and Shakira Austin, they weren't close, so they weren't going to get us there. Gabby Williams over 17.5 PA. She only had 10 and shot 2 for 9. So that, I guess that one was just a bad call. I mean, she was nowhere close. The Storm played so badly. It's like they did not play like a top 5 team. I don't know what's going on with the Storm, but if they can't play like a top 5 team against a team that shouldn't be that much of a challenge, then I don't think they're going to stay there. I think they're going to be falling in the standings pretty quickly. Alicia Gray over 25.5 PRA. She had 27, but as always, she made it sweaty for us because she shot 3 for 13. So don't ask me how she got to 27. Obviously, she shot a lot of free throws. And then Shakira Austin over 13.5 points. She lost some minutes to Stephanie Dolson. So Stephanie Dolson played a lot of minutes, and Shakira Austin just lost some of those minutes to her. I'm not sure why, but she wasn't playing that well. 4 of these 9 points she got in the fourth quarter. So for a lot of the game, she only had 5 points. She shot 4 for 10. She could have got us there, but obviously she just didn't. It wasn't a bad read because the lead scorer on that team was Sonia Citron. And normally Sonia Citron gets her points from 3, but not today. She got her points in the paint. So we were right about them giving up points in the paint to Brittany Sykes and Shakira Austin. But instead of Shakira Austin, they just went to Sonia Citron instead. And then Kiki Iriafin over 7.5 rebounds. I added that in the pinned comment, and she had 10. So that was, I'm glad we were able to add that, at least salvaged some of the day. Our leans, Azrae Stevens over 12.5 points. She had 21. I told you in the video you could take any of the Sparks, but I told you specifically I liked Dearica Hamby, Azrae Stevens, and Rickea Jackson over their lines, and I did not like Kelsey Plum as much, but all 4 of them ended up going over their lines, so you could have taken any of the Sparks there. Kelsey Mitchell over 1.5 3-pointers made. She only had 1. She shot 1 that was in and out, and so that just sucked for us. Obviously, the blowout didn't help. If the Wings could have kept it a bit closer, we might have cashed it. Brittany Sykes over 14.5 points. She did have 17, so 14.5 is too low for Brittany Sykes. I don't care who she's playing. That's too low for her, unless it's like the Wings or maybe the Valkyrie. But 14.5, too low. All right, so let's jump. Oh, that brings our record up to 57, 35, and 2 on the season, which is still just under 62%. So not terrible. I would prefer it a little higher in the 65 to 70 range, but we're still doing way better than a 50-50 coin flip over here, guys. Okay, so for today, I did look at that Minnesota Lynx Sky game yesterday, and I couldn't find anything that I loved. But then once they put these Mercury Valkyrie props up this morning, I went to bed early. But this morning I took a look at them, and I like Veronica Burton over 9.5 points. She's over in 12 of 20 and had 16 earlier in the year against the Mercury, but that included 9 free throws. But she is able to get to the free throw line usually for at least 2 or 3 or 4 free throws, 2 to 4, somewhere in between there. So I think we can kind of count on that. And then she just needs to make a couple buckets besides that. Obviously, she facilitates the ball a lot. But I looked at her assists and I just didn't like it. I didn't like the points and assist line combo, which they gave to us at 14.5 in the last game, and now it's 15.5. And that means she has to go over her points and her assist line to hit that. And so I'm just going to take her on the points. And next, we have Tammy Fagbenley on the same team, over 13.5 points and rebounds. She's over in 8 of 15 games and had 23 against the Mercury earlier in the year. She has been playing, I feel like her minutes have been going up a little bit since she got back. And so I think that they just continue to go up. She's been playing pretty well. So I think that there's no reason to take her off the court. And she's going to be our thumbnail for today. And then my last best bet, we're going back to Napheesa Collier, over 21.5 points. She's over in 13 of 20. She's had 26 and 21 against the Sky. So we can expect her to be pretty close to this line unless it's a blowout situation. Her PRA moved up because her PRA was 31.5 for the last game against the Sky 2 days ago. And now it's 33.5. So they moved the PRA up, but they didn't move her points up. So I'm just taking the points line again. And then I have 3 leans for you. Angel Reese, under 12.5 rebounds. I took this in the last 2 games. Obviously, it cashed for me twice in a row. I haven't been giving it out because it's kind of scary because she's been doing so well. I know Camila Cardoso was out, but even before Camila Cardoso was out, she was getting these 19 and 17, before Camila Cardoso left. So it was a little scary to me, so I just didn't give it out. The Lynx are not a good rebounding team, so Angel's going to have her opportunities. But I'm leaning under again for her. I just think the Lynx can hold her under here. But it's not a best bet because it's close. She landed at 11 both times, and she could easily just get a couple more rebounds. I mean, she didn't even play the last couple minutes of the last game. I mean, she was playing, she was on the court, but they were just running out the clock. So it's a scary one. That's why it's a lean. I'm probably only going to have it in one slip if I even bet it. Camila Cardoso, over 11.5 points. This was 9.5, so it was 10.5 in this Wings game. And I bet it, by the way. And she only ended up with 9. And then that line dropped to 9.5 against the Lynx. She had 17. Now the line's 11.5. But I just don't think that the Lynx can stop her. I mean, she gets 90% of her points right under the hoop, which is where the Lynx are weakest. Obviously, Napheesa Collier is going to be guarding Angel again, probably. And Alana Smith doesn't have the height and just hasn't been able to guard and defend well against Camila Cardoso. I think it actually would be really smart of the Lynx to switch things up and put Alana Smith maybe on Angel and try Napheesa Collier on Camila Cardoso for at least part of the game and just see how that goes. Obviously, I think Angel's going to torch Alana Smith if that happens. So they just have to kind of decide who they want to get torched by. Alana Smith. I mean, do they want to get torched by Angel or do they want to get torched by Camila? I mean, Napheesa Collier can't be everywhere. So our final lean is going to be Alyssa Thomas, over 33.5 PRA. She's over in 2 of 2 without Kalia Copper and Satu Sabali, but she's under in most of the other games before that. So this is kind of a scary one. That's why I put it as a lean. I bet against Alyssa Thomas, I believe, in this Aces game. It was either this Aces game or this Wings game. No. It was this Wings game where she got 40 and she torched me. So I won't be doing that again. I don't know if she's going to go off on points, if she's going to go off on rebounds, if she's going to go off on assists, but Alyssa Thomas is going to go out there and play like the MVP. She should be in the conversation for MVP, in my opinion. I don't know how she doesn't get in the 40s with, like, she knows she has to do everything. She has to do everything for this team. I do think it is going to be a lower scoring game, but that's what I thought about this Wings game. That's what I thought about this Lynx game. So I don't know. I'm just going to take another shot on Alyssa Thomas, who's just been playing out of her mind. So this could be another Angel Reese situation where with her teammates off the court, she just dominates for like 6 weeks in a row until they get back, or 6 games in a row. All right, so let's review that. We've got Veronica Burton over 9.5 points, Napheesa Collier over 21.5 points, Tammy Fagbenley over 13.5 points and rebounds, And then my leans are Alyssa Thomas over 33.5 PRA, Camila Cardoso over 11.5 points, and Angel Reese under 12.5 rebounds. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment so that you're entered into that cash prize giveaway. You just have to comment hashtag in the mix, choose 2 of those best bets. And if those 2 best bets hit, then we will give out some money in the next video. Thanks, guys.